we will be using these periods because timetable and syllabus has already been completed. So today we will be doing this group discussion. The group leader of which is Ananya, I suppose she.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then next week again, maybe we can do, or maybe after 1 week we can do as we decide, because I think this is the group which is um, inclined to appear for these kinds of activities, and the rest are just busy in sleeping or something else. So the topic is very relevant, which you all have chosen, that is globalization and COVID 19 vaccine. Because there has been a lot of debate on why India has exported the vaccines when we have 130 crore of population to be vaccinated, and why it was done. That step of the government has been uh, subject to a lot of criticisms, but then it has its own defense mechanism, and they have argued about it from time to time that why they had to do it at that time. So I am very eager to listen to your opinion on this relevant topic, and as soon as you complete, then I will be summing it up. Okay, so we will start with the discussion now.
Good morning, everyone. I, Ananya, welcome you all today. Today's group discussion organized by Arthran under the guidance of a head of the Department of Economics, Dr. Nupma Srivastava ma'am. The topic that we have under discussion today is globalization in relation to COVID-19 vaccines. So, to begin with today's session, I would like to invite Anupma ma'am to address the session.
I have already done that, I
Okay, ma'am.
suppose, so you can start with that.
Okay, ma'am. Arthran is an initiative started under the guidance of Dr. Nupma Srivastava, Head of the Department of Economics, Isabella Thoban College, Lucknow. Our mission is to prepare aspirants for the UPSC preliminary and the mains and other competitive exams so that they can update themselves with the daily news analysis, facts, and information in the field of economics. Founded in 2020, Earthrun has led numerous successful initiatives that have produced real change in the competitive environment through different activities like weekly updates with a static portion of the topic, quizzes, flowcharts, and mind mapping on different hot topics of the week. The link has been provided in the chat box to you as well. So do go through them and register you for yourself for the content, quizzes, and mock tests as soon as possible. Let me make you familiar with the general rules of the GD, which are as follows.
Sorry for
Uh,
interruption, Anya. Just for your awareness, Arthran is going to conduct a mock test free of cost on 25th July, that is Sunday. So, based on UPSC prelims pattern, so please register for that. The form is already there on the website. You can register yourself. Already we have got around 50 yesterday participants. So it will be a mock drill exercise for all of you, where we have the correct answer marking also and the negative marking also, because lot of UPSC aspirants do this mistake that you tick on all the answers and then ultimately जितने सही नहीं होते उससे ज्यादा माइनस में चले जाते हैं. So to put up that curb on the tendency to try out, and unless and until you are confident about your answer, that will be a good exercise. And there is a whole schedule of the Arthran mock tests which we will be conducting just before the final UPSC exam this year, that is going to be held in October. So before that, we wanted that our students, because you might not be appearing this year, but at least you will be having an idea about how the pattern is, and how you should gain confidence, how you should only put a tick when you are confident and at least 50% sure. So that kind of practice will be done only by giving those mock tests. And certainly, if you have your friends who will be appearing this year, please apprise them about our initiative, and also let them also register, because we have got registrations from outside Lucknow also. So that means the venture is going to be, and I must congratulate Divya, Shriya, and Diksha for giving their best to this initiative along with me. So all of you are also welcome to be a part of this initiative if you want. But we will be, just doing the registration. We will continue these registrations till 24th. Thank you, Ananya. Now please continue.
Thank you, ma'am. The rules for the GD are: the medium of the GD can either be English or Hindi. All the participants' videos should be on all the time. The participants should unmute themselves only when asked to do so, that is, when their chance comes. Cross questioning is not allowed. All the participants are requested to keep their part to 5 minutes only. All the PPTs should be handed over a day prior to the GD. Participants are to make sure of their good network connection. The organizers and the coordinator are nowhere responsible for the network issues of the participants. Participants are required to abide by the rules of GD. With the world in the pandemic today, the need and availability of vaccines at all places has become the main issue. There is a mention of two words in a hot topic today: globalization and vaccines, which I would like to explain about before coming to the main topic. Globalization is a word used to describe the growing interdependence of the world economies, cultures, and populations brought about by the cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, the flows of investment, people, and information. In terms of biology, a vaccine is a type of medicine that trains the body's immune system so that it can fight a disease it has not come in contact with before. The rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines is the result not only of the unprecedented levels of international collaboration but also a massive public investment in R&D and manufacturing capacity. As the economic condition of developing and underdeveloped countries deteriorates, efforts are being made by the developed economies to give out vaccines such as Pfizer, Sputnik V, Covaxin by countries like US, Russia, India, etc., providing all people in the underdeveloped countries with timely and equal access to COVID-19 vaccine poses huge obstacles, and with the second largest population and one of the biggest pharmaceutical manufacturing capacities in the world, India has a central role in the COVID-19 vaccination effort. With this, I would like to call upon Divya.
Thank you, Ananya. Good morning, everyone. Ananya, can you please present the presentation?
Yes, give me a
Good
minute.
morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. As my friend Ananya had introduced us to globalization, so now let's see the export-import policy or the foreign trade policy of India. भारत की वह नीति जो आयात और निर्यात की नीतियों को निर्धारित करती है उसे एक्सिम पॉलिसी कहते हैं। इसके अंतर्गत सरकार की नीति निर्यात को बढ़ाने और आयात को नियंत्रित करने की होती है। अब हम एक्सिम पॉलिसी के सामान्य उद्देश्य देखते हैं। वैश्वीकरण के लिए रूपरेखा स्थापित करना, भारतीय उद्योग को प्रोडक्टिविटी कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस को बढ़ावा देना, गुणवत्ता के उच्च और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर स्वीकृत मानकों की प्राप्ति को प्रोत्साहित करना, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बाजार के कच्चे माल, मध्यवर्ती घटकों, उपभोग सामग्रियों और पूंजीगत वस्तुओं तक पहुंच को सुगम बनाकर निर्यात में वृद्धि करना, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर प्रतिस्पर्धी आयात, प्रतिस्थापना और आत्मनिर्भरता को बढ़ावा देना। Now let's move to the history of export policy in India. 1950 और 1960 के दशक के दौरान व्यापार नीतियों को देश की आत्मनिर्भरता पर जोर देने के लिए डिजाइन किया गया था। 1970 के दशक के दौरान तथा उसके बाद की नीतियां निर्यात आधारित विकास और बढ़ी हुई दक्षता और प्रतिस्पर्धा से प्रेरित थी। वर्ष 1962 में भारत सरकार ने पिछली नियत निर्यात आयात की नीतियों की समीक्षा के लिए विशेष एक्शन कमेटी नियुक्त की। बाद में तत्कालीन कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर मिस्टर वीपी सिंह ने 12 अप्रैल 1985 को एक्शन पॉलिसी की घोषणा की। जहां तक देश के व्यापार क्षेत्र का संबंध है, वर्ष 1991 को वाटरशेड माना जाता है। इसलिए वर्ष 1991 के बाद की अवधि को सुधार के बाद की अवधि के रूप में माना जाता है। चलिए अब एक्सिम पॉलिसी के कुछ विशेष वर्षों को देखते हैं। 1952-53 में भारत में निर्यात और आयात नीति की उदारवादी निर्यात और आयात नीतियां रही। वर्ष 1985 में ज्वाइंट एक्शन पॉलिसी पहली बार शुरू की गई। 1990-91 में व्यापार उदारीकरण हुआ। 92 से 97 पहली बार 5 साल की व्यापार नीति लाई गई। पहले की व्यापार नीतियों में 3 साल का समय क्षितिज था। इस समय भारतीय निर्यात की स्थिरता पर फोकस था। नाउ द फॉरेन ट्रेड पॉलिसी 2015 to 2020 विजन एंड मिशन। व्यापार नीति का विजन 2020 तक भारत को दुनिया में एक महत्वपूर्ण भागीदार बनाना है। देश को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यापार में नेतृत्व की स्थिति में बनाने की विचारधारा है। भारत सरकार का लक्ष्य 2013-14 में माल और सेवाओं के निर्यात को 465.9 बिलियन डॉलर से बढ़ाकर 2019-20 तक लगभग 900 बिलियन डॉलर करना है। इसके अतिरिक्त नीति का उद्देश्य विश्व निर्यात में देश की हिस्सेदारी को 2% से बढ़ाकर 3.5% करना है। फॉरेन ट्रेड पॉलिसी 2015-2020 के उद्देश्य विदेशी व्यापार के लिए एक स्थिर और स्थायी नीति वातावरण प्रदान करना, मेक इन इंडिया, डिजिटल इंडिया और स्किल्स इंडिया जैसी अन्य पहलों के साथ नियम और प्रक्रियाओं को जोड़ना, भारत के निर्यात में विविधता लाना, आयातों को युक्ति संगत बनाने के लिए और नियमित मूल्यांकन के लिए एक तंत्र प्रदान करना, भारत के बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट्स की स्थिति में सुधार करना, बाजारों के विस्तार और एकीकरण की दृष्टि से भारत को वैश्विक व्यापार जुड़ाव के लिए वास्तुकला तैयार करना, जिससे मेक इन इंडिया को बढ़ावा मिले। फॉरेन ट्रेड पॉलिसी 2020-21 The foreign trade policy is established by the Directorate General of Foreign Trade (DGFT), the governing body for the promotion and facilitation of exports and imports under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. एग्जिम पॉलिसी 5 साल की अवधि के लिए अधिसूचित की जाती है। इसे हर साल 31 मार्च को अपडेट किया जाता है और परिवर्तन 1 अप्रैल से लागू होते हैं। पिछले साल सरकार ने कोविड-19 के आलोक में नीति को 31 मार्च 2021 तक बढ़ा दिया था, ताकि निर्यातकों को महामारी और इससे प्रेरित मंदी से जूझने में मदद मिल सके। विदेश व्यापार महानिदेशालय ने एक अधिसूचना में कहा, मौजूदा एफटीपी 2015-20 को 20 जो 31 मार्च 2021 तक वैध है, उसे 30 सितंबर 2021 तक बढ़ा दिया गया है। उम्मीद करती हूँ कि इसके साथ अब आप सभी को एग्जिम पॉलिसी क्या होती है इसके बारे में ज्ञान हो गया होगा। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Divya. Our next participant is Shailja Verma.
Thank you, Ananya. Good morning, everyone. As my friend Divya has very well covered up the exim policy, I'll be talking about the export policy followed by India in the wake of COVID-19 relating to vaccine supply. That is the export of vaccines and India's diplomacy. The present pandemic made obvious to the general public the central role of vaccines. Many countries are in this race of producing vaccine and using it for their strategic and diplomatic purposes. A sharp drop in COVID-19 cases in India between September and February allowed the government into rolling out leisurely vaccination program. This will help promoting India's foreign policy and diplomatic relations between nations, neighbors, and across the world. Thus, on January 20, the government launched Vaccine Matri as an ambitious program to export two Indian-made shots, that is, Covishield and Covaxin, to the world. Since then, according to data published by Ministry of External Affairs, nearly 6.6 crore doses of made in India vaccines have reached a total number of 95 foreign entities under the banner of Vaccine Matri initiative. Out of these, the government had donated nearly 1.06 crore doses as free of charge grants to various low-income countries in Global South. And under its Neighborhood First policy, India donated 2 million doses to Bangladesh, 1.5 million to Myanmar, 1 million to Nepal, 0.5 million each to Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. Though many have questioned this act of government that despite ensuring full vaccination in our own country, they are busy supplying it to the other nations. Over which our External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar, responded that can I, on one hand, go around the world and tell people to keep their supply chains of raw material flowing towards me, but I'm not going to give you the vaccines. He says that when we are importing raw materials from others, then it's our duty to supply vaccines to those who are suffering. And as a conclusion, I would like to brief you about some of the achievements that India had very well used this crucial time to increase its global soft power over the nations by doing immediate help to its neighbors and other developing countries who cannot afford US and Europe made vaccines. India has also helped in curbing vaccine nationalism, through which a country manages to secure dose of vaccines for its own citizens or residents and prioritize its own domestic market before they are made available to other nations through pre-purchase agreements with vaccine manufacturers. Beyond India's immediate neighbors, South Korea, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and South Africa all have shown inclination to purchase vaccines from India, which is estimated to be 60% of the total global supply. And such responses from these countries shows that India can become a future long-term destination for market expansion of Indian pharmas. Thus, India can make itself a global center for vaccine supply, boost pharma medical industries, thereby help in reviving its own economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelja. Our next participant is Parul Singh.
Thank you, Ananya. Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friends. I would continue with my friend Shalja's. Globalization has interconnected all the countries, making whole world a global village. In this pandemic, the only ray of hope for us was vaccine, through which we could overcome this pandemic. In mid of this approach of rich countries, or famously known as developed countries, was really disheartening, raising a question mark on the aim of globalization. With the advent of approval of vaccines like Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, developed countries pre-ordered the vaccine more than the demand. For example, America ordered vaccine 2 times more than it required for its population. United Kingdom pre-ordered 3 times the vaccine it required for its population, and Canada, where the death rate was very low, ordered 5 times the vaccines they required for their population. WHO chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus dubbed this hoarding of vaccine as a first me approach, as this approach led to increase the suffering and prolonging this pandemic. Now, for the equitable distribution of the vaccine so that poor countries can also afford the vaccine, which was really the aim of globalization, WHO created a platform known as COVAX, where the poor countries can afford these vaccines at a very affordable and subsidized rates. COVAX is a coalition led by CEPI, that is Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, GAVI, Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization, and WHO, which guarantee fair and equitable access for every country in the world. COVAX is a global shop where these poor countries can get the vaccines at a very subsidized rate so they could vaccinate at least 3% of their population fully. As far as now, COVAX has shipped more than million doses to 122 countries. Now let us see what is the role of India in these global efforts. Although India initially performed well as a soft power, it donated 107.15 lakh doses to its neighbor and needy countries as her own initiative and selfless service. And for commercial purpose, it exported 357.92 lakh doses of vaccines. Along with that, it supplied to COVAX platform 198.628 lakh of vaccine at a subsidized rates to the poor countries. However, what is disappointing is that these vaccines were exported last time on 16th April 2021. After that, India has not exported any of the vaccine and it banned the exports from country. Now, our neighbor like Maldives, Cambodia, Bangladesh, Nepal, Philippines, they relied more on us for the vaccines because they believed our quality of vaccine rather than Russia and China, because Russia's Sputnik V got approval after checking only on 76 people, and Sputnik, as the Sinopharm and Sinovac of China, the efficacy of the vaccine was 78%, but the report from Brazil, it shows that its efficacy degraded to 50% when it was used in the other European countries. So our neighbors relied on us and they gave bulk order to us, but because we were not able to manage this manufacturing, we could not export this vaccine, which really जिसने हमें पूरी तरह से एक तो वर्ल्ड प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी हर्ट किया और दूसरी तरह से हमारे एक्सपोर्ट को भी हैम्पर किया. नाउ माय ओपिनियन इज व्हाट, सबसे पहले we need to reformulate intellectual property rights, because we all know जैसे ही फर्स्ट वैक्सीन हमें पता चली मॉडर्ना, फाइजर, तभी अगर वैक्सीन टेक्नोलॉजी को ट्रांसफर कर दिया गया होता और अदर कंट्रीज में, बिकॉज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पावर और प्रोडक्शन बहुत ज्यादा इंक्रीज हो जाता और हम मिलियन लाइव्स को बचा सकते थे. सो दैट अगर ये पेटेंट और इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स को पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे हम थोड़ा सा रिफॉर्मुलेट करें सो दैट द अदर कंट्रीज कैन शेयर देयर वैक्सीन टेक्नोलॉजी, तो डेफिनेटली हम और आने वाले समय में पैंडेमिक से और आसानी से लड़ पाते. नाउ WHO चीफ ने इसी एटीट्यूड ऑफ डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज के लिए बोला था, द वर्ल्ड इज ऑन द ब्रिंक ऑफ कैटास्ट्रोफिक मॉरल फेलियर एंड द प्राइस ऑफ दिस फेलियर विल बी पेड विद द लाइव्स एंड लाइवलीहुड्स इन द वर्ल्ड्स पोरेस्ट कंट्रीज. नाउ what India should do now? India को public private partnership पे work करना चाहिए, because in this scramble for more and more vaccine, India's 7 public sector vaccine manufacturing institutes were sitting idle. Can you imagine this? For example, those 7 public sector units are CRI, BCG Vaccine, BCGVL, PII, HNL Biotech, BIBCL, Hafkin Biopharmaceutical Corporation Limited, and Human Biological Institute, Telangana. Government can ask Bharat Biotech to share its vaccine technology with these public sector institute so that they can increase the production, because अभी हमारी जो requirement है per month की वो 90 million doses की है, पर because हम सिर्फ 2 manufacturing companies, that is Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech, they are manufacturing and are able to manufacture only 70 million. अगर हम इस 20 million की margin को पार कर लेते हैं तो हम अपने एक्सपोर्ट्स को भी बढ़ा पाएंगे और हम अपनी नीड्स को भी पूरी तरह से कवर कर पाएंगे. सो व्हाट वी नीड टू डू इज दैट हमें अपनी पॉलिसीज में थोड़ा सा चेंज करने की जरूरत है, सो दैट बिकॉज इसके साथ ना ही बल्कि हमारी एक्सपोर्ट्स ही कम नहीं हो रहे हैं, साथ ही साथ गवर्नमेंट को भी बहुत लॉस हो रहा है, बिकॉज 80% जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रही है वो प्राइवेट सेक्टर कर रही है, जिसकी वजह से प्राइवेट सेक्टर प्रॉफिट कमाने के लिए गवर्नमेंट को उसी वैक्सीन को 250 टाइम्स ज्यादा प्राइजेस पे बेच रही है, जिसकी वजह से गवर्नमेंट के पॉकेट पे बहुत बर्डन हो रहा है, और उसका जो हेल्थ सेक्टर पे जो बजट है वो करीबन करीबन 250% ज्यादा बढ़ रहा है, जिसको हम कहीं और लगा सकते थे। सो इसकी वजह से जरूरत है कि हम अपने पब्लिक सेक्टर को रिवैम्प करें, उसे जो है फिर से रिवाइव करें, सो दैट हम अच्छे से बेटर फाइट कर सकें इस पैंडेमिक में, और इन फ्यूचर अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो हम अपने प्रोडक्शन लेवल को बहुत अच्छे से बढ़ा सके, क्योंकि कितना भी हो जाए हमारी क्वालिटी से कोई भी कंपेयर नहीं कर सकता है, और ये चीज अभी हमने प्रूव की है। नाउ at last, I would like to say, no doubt the major fault lying in the health sector that current crisis has exposed is the absence of good policies in India. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Parul. Now I would like to call upon Himani, followed by Vasundhara.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to put forward how India, following the policy of globalization in COVID scenario with reference to vaccine, emerges as a strong and impactful leader in the international politics. I'll talk about positive impacts of exporting COVID-19 vaccines with respect to vaccine diplomacy of India and political relations. India has emerged as a global leader in vaccines with about 1/3 share of the total market. India's share in global vaccine market is consistently increasing, and at present, the country contributes more than 33% in the global market. The policy advisor, Mr. Ashok Malik said, many countries, when they think vaccines, they think India. Vaccines are complex things to make. It's not easy to reverse engineer, and supply chain involves many countries. So if one shuts down, the impact is felt on the entire chain. The COVID-19 vaccines manufactured or developed in India need an estimated 360 ingredients sourced from abroad. If India insists on ingredients and technology, the finished product too has to be shared. India says it's not exporting vaccines now, because when cases were low, Indian vaccines were supplied to the world. But that scenario has changed under the second wave of infections. Our Foreign Minister of India, Mr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, said, as a foreign minister, I am pushing other countries, particularly some big countries, saying, look, please keep the raw materials flowing for vaccines to be made in India. He also added, if you ask why you are exporting vaccines at all, somebody will ask, why am I exporting to India? That is so short-sighted. Only non-serious, irresponsible people can make that argument. अगर हम दूसरे देश की मदद ले रहे हैं, तो हमारी भी ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि हम दूसरे देश की मदद करें. It's important to look at each of these in detail to address the myth of India having exported vaccines to the world while neglecting its own citizens. First, the vaccines sent as aid have been overwhelmingly sent to India's own neighborhood. Out of the 107.15 lakh doses, 78.5 lakh doses have been sent to just 7 neighboring countries. As you can see on the slide, that how many vaccines have been exported by India to the foreign countries, which includes Bangladesh, Morocco, UK, etc. India also exported its vaccine to some underdeveloped countries of Africa like Nigeria, Ethiopia, because they just couldn't afford the vaccines. Having India's immediate neighbors vaccinated is essential for India's own pandemic control measures. Political relations of India with other foreign countries has been improved a lot, and its results will be seen in a long run. एक मीटिंग में बताया गया था कि अराउंड 5 करोड़ वैक्सीन इंडिया के पास हैं, जिसमें कि 2.5 करोड़ वैक्सीन एक्सपोर्ट कर दी जाएंगी. वो कंट्रीज जो वैक्सीन अफोर्ड कर सकती हैं, इंडिया उन्हें फ्री में वैक्सीन प्रोवाइड नहीं कराएगी. इंडिया में वैक्सीन की कमी इसलिए हुई है क्योंकि इंडिया ने वैक्सीन वेस्ट करी है. As you can see on the slide, that Tamil Nadu has wasted 8.83% of vaccines. Uttar Pradesh has wasted 3.54% of vaccines, and so on. Director General of World Health Organization, Mr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, thanked India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said, "Thank you, India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for your continued support to global COVID-19 response. Only if we act together, including sharing of knowledge, we can stop this virus and save lives and livelihoods." The World Health Organization's chief scientist, Mr. Soumya Swaminathan, has said that India's ban on the export of coronavirus vaccines had a severe impact on 91 countries. In my opinion, the government opted the right vaccine diplomacy in context of globalization. Every nation's eye is now on India for big investment projects. I believe that the COVID-19 period has definitely paved the way for India to emerge as a hub of industrial and manufacturing units, along with the continued title Pharmacy of the World awarded to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Imani. Moving on to our last speaker, Vasundhara.
Thank you, Ananya. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I would like to put forward the role of research and development and government initiatives like Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat as a part of globalization, which resulted in the great performance of India in COVID vaccine context. Due to all this global impact of COVID-19 pandemic, हमारा ट्रेड बहुत बुरी तरह इफेक्ट हुआ. लेकिन इस समय रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर ऑफ इंडिया स्टेप्ड फॉरवर्ड टू टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ प्रोड्यूसिंग एसेंशियल commodities in bulk and as quickly as possible to contribute solution to find the pandemic in its early stages last year. हमारे कंट्री का एपिक साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट DST has taken steps to find potential startups with viable products requiring manufacturing support. कुछ बहुत सारी ऑटोनोमस बॉडीज जो कि DST के अंदर उन्होंने काम किया एंड दे वर एक्टिवली इन्वॉल्व्ड. द बॉडीज इंक्लूड SERB, TDB, AMBU, NSF and many other. They were actively involved and have ramped up their research and development efforts in this discipline. हम इसी वक्त एक नए इनिशिएटिव के साथ आए, न्यू मिलेनियम इंडियन टेक्नोलॉजी लीडरशिप इनिशिएटिव. It was constituted by the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. So this initiative seeks proposal from industries for effective assistant devices, जिसमें include होते हैं ventilators, innovative diagnostics, novel drugs, track and trace technologies. गवर्नमेंट ने इसी वक्त न्यू मोबाइल ऐप आरोग्य सेतु भी लॉन्च किया. एवरीबॉडी नोज अबाउट इट. इट्स सपोज इंडियन वर्नाकुलर्स हमें वार्न करता है कि अगर कोई भी कोविड इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन अगर हमारे अराउंड है. हम इसी वक्त बहुत ही की कोलैबोरेशन से अगर बात करें, सो द एक्सचेंज ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन रियली हेल्प्ड इन बूस्टिंग द ग्लोबलाइजेशन पॉलिसी दैट इंडिया फॉलोड ड्यूरिंग दिस पैंडेमिक. अगर हम कोलैबोरेशंस की बात करें, सो इट हैपेंड बोथ विद इन द कंट्री एंड आउटसाइड द कंट्री. If we talk about partnerships within the country, then IIT Roorkee and All India Institute of Medical Science Rishikesh, they together they come up with this low-cost ventilator called Pranvayu. It was low-cost, safe, and reliable. Research and development team at IIT Guwahati, they developed polymerase chain reaction machine, which can analyze 1,000 samples in 12 hours. And I'm all talking about their efforts in the starting stages of pandemic. Okay. So जब हमें वेंटिलेटर्स की शॉर्टेज हुई, अगेन इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस लोकेटेड इन बैंगलोर, दे कम अप विद दिस प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ एन इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल वेंटिलेटर, जिसका हर एक कंपोनेंट इंडिया में बना फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच, व्हिच वाज अगेन डायरेक्टली प्रमोटिंग मेक इन इंडिया कैंपेन इनिशिएटिव्स. Pune's laboratory also come up with the test kits for RPCRs. अगर हम की कोलैबोरेशन आउटसाइड द कंट्री की बात करें, वी ऑल नो दैट ऑक्सफोर्ड एस्ट्राजेनेका कोलैबोरेटेड विद द इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सीरम फॉर प्रिपेयरिंग कोविशील्ड. Covaxins, that is India's indigenous vaccine prepared by Bharat Biotech, is developed in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research with the National Institute of Virology. All these efforts of research and development going within the country and outside the country, they really place the India as a strong global leader in today's world. अगर हम आत्मनिर्भर भारत एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन की बात करें, ये दो वर्ड्स एक दूसरे को कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट से लगते हैं, ऐसा लगता है, बट नॉट. Advocating self-reliance doesn't mean that we cut off from the world and become anti-free trade. It simply means that we are identifying the few key sectors where the country has the potential and capability to scale up and be globally competitive. And yes, in COVID situation, we were able to do so. It is evident from the fact that from zero production of PPE before March 2020, India today has created the capacity of producing 2 lakh PPE kits daily, and the number is still going on. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji asked us to go vocal for local and support indigenous industries and product. उन्होंने अपनी स्पीच में 5 pillars of आत्मनिर्भर भारत को मेंशन किया, which focuses on economy, infrastructure, system, demography and demand. उन्होंने 5 I's की भी बात करी, which are the key pillars for the revival of economic growth. These 5 I's are intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure and innovation. तो कहीं ना कहीं मैं ये कहना चाहूंगी, ये एक परफेक्ट समय था इंडिया के लिए कोविड सिनेरियो में, जब इंडिया ने अपनी कैपेबिलिटीज को रियलाइज किया, बोथ इन रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर एज वेल एज इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर, and I think it was able to perform way more better than any other country right now. Concluding, I would say, as we all know, China का world GDP में बहुत बड़ा रोल है, but today there's a sort of fear psychosis which is clearly visible. US ने अपने Chinese imports बंद कर रखे, Chinese agriculture, उनके consumable items like tea, horticulture and floriculture काफी बड़ा downfall face कर रहे हैं. So I think this is a perfect opportunity that India is, I think, looking for and is following to attract the global investment in our country. और हम देखें, it has been far successful in doing so. अगर हम यूएस इंडिया स्ट्रैटेजिक एंड पार्टनरशिप फोरम को देखें तो 200 अमेरिकन कॉर्पोरेशंस ने अपने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बेसिस को चाइना से इंडिया में शिफ्ट कर दिया इन मिड 2019, जिसमें से 100 यूएस फर्म्स ने शिफ्ट किए बेसिस टू उत्तर प्रदेश फ्रॉम चाइना. अगर हम बात करें, एज वी ऑल नो दैट यूपी इज अ होम टू मोर देन 90 lakh MSMEs and skilled labor, so the state could be among the front runners of the growth trajectory. Boston Scientific has planned to set up the medical equipment plant in India. एक German based footwear brand है Von Velex, they will be shifting their entire shoe collection of over 3 million pairs annually in China to India with the initial investment of 110 crore. So in a nutshell, common sense dictates that the world is looking at the alternate hubs of manufacturing and sourcing, and India can step up the challenge and emerge as a powerful leader in this world of globalization. And I feel it has been far successful in doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasundhara. Coming to our conclusion, now I would like to summarize what each speaker mentioned today. First, our speaker mentioned about the EXIM policy or the foreign trade policy of India of the current year and the previous session. Second, our next speaker mentioned about the export of vaccines and India's diplomacy towards the globalization of vaccines. Third, another speaker mentioned how globalization has interconnected all the countries with respect to the imports and exports of vaccine, which were due to COVID-19 pandemic, led to the widening of gap between developed and developing countries. She also mentioned that by reformulating intellectual property rights in such a situation, real purpose of globalization can be met. Moving forward, she explains why India needs to revamp its public sector units and public-private cooperation. Our next speaker explained about how India has emerged as a tough and impressive leader in the world politics with reference to COVID vaccines, imports and exports. Coming to our last speaker, who mentioned about the resource and development and initiative taken by the government like Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India and its role in the contribution to the great performance of India's globalization of COVID vaccines. With this, we come to the end of today's group discussion. Now, without further ado, I would like to call upon our HOD, Dr. Anupa ma'am.
Thank you, Ananya. It was so nice listening to all our speakers, and really we have a pool of talent. I must congratulate everyone here because you have, I can see a change from the last group discussion to this, that there have been an increase in the confidence level. There have been an increase in the number of viewpoints which you posed for your topic. Definitely, it's a win-win situation for me as the head of the department, because at least I have been able to do some justice to my kind of education which I wanted to provide to the youth of today. So, firstly, I will say that all the presentations were very up to the point and bringing out so solid points towards the positive aspect of globalization and how these COVID vaccines and development of it has been done in India, and how India has, on the one hand, trying to, follow the our honorable Prime Minister's ambition for vocal for local and Atmanirbhar Bharat on the one hand, and on the other, we are also able to take the advantage of globalization by helping our neighboring countries who were not able to have those kinds of vaccines, like especially ethical trade. You must call it ethical trade. So we were not just doing it on the basis of money or only commercial trade, but we were following a moral value there by helping our neighboring countries. So that is a positive aspect. Uh, Wherever there is some kind of step, there are critiques also, and since India is a multi-political party country, there are opposition parties also, and that is why we are always, whenever we talk about economy or economics, we can't remove the political scenario altogether, and that is why these policies are governed by the political ambitions and representations. And you will read about it if you go further in economics in your PG, that the political system needs to be very strong and ethical if you want to have the economic policies which can be benefiting the whole of the masses. What is like, if you want to create that kind of environment which can benefit everybody and anybody, then in that case we need to have a strong political system, ethical political system. And that is why we always talk about governance also. When we talk about polity, we talk about governance also, and governance needs to be very morally based and ethical based. So all in all, we can say that there is always a positive and a negative side of everything. But what we have to do as young leaders, as young students of the department, all of you have really done well. And there are three things through which we can talk about globalization. Globalization is not new. But the thing is that whatever we are doing through globalization, we have to take it or reverse the process to our advantage. And for that, the human talent plays a very important role. And some of the talents we can see here, but there is much more than that. And India is a demographic profile को अगर आप देखें तो इंडिया के पास इसका बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है कि हमारे पास जितना बड़ा यूथ पॉपुलेशन है उतना किसी भी कंट्री के पास नहीं है. So we have to see that this young talent, the human talent, needs to be stopped within the country, first thing. And like some attractions need to be provided, some kind of employment opportunities needs to be provided, some kinds of educational incentives needs to be provided, so that our talent do not go abroad. That is one of the things which I would like to add here. Then global capital, definitely. That movement of global capital also plays an important role in the innovations and inventions which you just talked. The examples of scientific labs and medical equipments and technology. So that is also one thing. Then the integration with global supply chains. That is also one of the important aspects, that how we are going to do it, and whether this kind of integration is coming to our benefit or it is going against it. That kind of system needs to be developed. So and we can see कि globalization has benefited us a lot. और अगर हम ये बात करते हैं ग्लोबल विलेज की, जो कि मार्शल मैकलुहन ने कहा था, so in that case we have to open it up. Like if we are importing from abroad, And if we want to export abroad, then we need to import also. We can't just close the economy. But the thing is, we need to see that whether the movement is going against it or us or not. And for that, I think these three important IPR, intellectual property right, definitely has to be there. And only then you can talk about its positive benefits. Then Vasundhara just talked about all the positives which we benefited from through globalization. So that is also very true. And even all the major vaccine providers, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's Moderna, they are not, producing the vaccines in their own countries. If you go into the deeper details, they are not producing in their own countries, but they have established their labs in Germany, in European countries. Why? Because there is some advantage to them. That's why they are doing it there. And this is one of the major opportunity for India also to attract these foreign investors. And how to do it and what to do it, please compile your suggestions. That is one of the recommendation which I want to give here. Ananya, please compile your suggestions. Although I think we are doing the recording of this, but if you can compile your suggestions, at least we can move it forward to our UP government and see that how they are going to forward it to somebody else. At least we can do that. Whether it's implemented or not, or maybe in future if you become something which I'm sure you will, then you can take the advantage of these kinds of activities which we are doing, because your mind will open up. So that is one of the things which I wanted to say. So once again, many congratulations for your wonderful efforts.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we now we will decide if you want to have it next Saturday, or we will